Welcome back to another episode of Bass Bros, and today, guys, I'm going to be doing my first ever winter backpacking trip. Well, I guess technically it's not winter, it's December 11th. That'll be on December 21st, but it's gonna feel a heck of a lot like winter tonight with a low of 12 degrees. So my plan for the day is to hike 7 miles into this lake, set up camp, do a little bit of fishing, assuming the lake isn't frozen yet, cook a really yummy dinner, bake some cookies, and then try not to freeze tonight, and then hike out tomorrow morning. So let's get to going. I'm just gonna start hiking. Already shedding layers here. I'm getting hot as I'm hiking because it's only about like 30 degrees right now, which isn't too bad. And I just passed my first lake and it seems to be like half frozen, so I have a little bit of hopes to be able to do some fishing tonight. That's because all these lakes were frozen last week and the past 3 days was like 50 degrees, so it's starting to melt everything again, typical Michigan weather. And now it's 12 degrees tonight. You just never know what you're gonna get in the Midwestern winter. For some reason, I never like to break in my new boots when I get them, so I'm getting some mad blisters on my heel. It could be a sizing issue with these boots. I did get a half size bigger because I was expecting to wear some thicker socks, which I am right now, but my heel is slipping a lot, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to break them in, or maybe I got the wrong size, but I guess we're gonna find out. But for now, it's gonna be a painful hike. Oh boy, we made it with no time to spare here. It is already getting dark and it's only 5 o'clock. But we're gonna start a fire first so that I can have the wood burned down into coals for dinner, and then we'll set up camp and cook some dinner. This is what happens in overly camped spots. This poor tree has been stripped away of like all its bark. Because it is a great fire starter, but that poor tree. So in order to find some good wood, I'm gonna have to hike a little bit away from the campsite to find some wood that people aren't willing to hike to get. And also I don't want to completely clear out everything that's next to the campsites because I just don't want to do that. Starting to snow. You love to see it. Snow just brings like an extra vibe when you're camping. I'm not gonna lie. Got the fire going here. It feels good. Gonna set up tent, and then hopefully we'll have enough heat to start cooking some dinner. Fire's coming along quite nice, so we're gonna start prepping dinner. And I got something a little bit out of the ordinary for tonight. Why am I doing this? I don't really know, but I think it's gonna be fun. And what I'm doing is making some orange chicken. Now, the only thing I prepped at home was the rice, because I didn't really want to cook rice out here because it takes forever. Everything else I am going to be making from scratch out here. I even brought a zester to zest my orange out here. And to start with the sauce, I have my little mixture of sauces here. I'll put the recipe link in the description if you guys want to try this for yourself. So I have my mix of sauces there, and then I have some sugar, and we're gonna dump that in there. And now I need to add my orange zest in here. Okay, the sauce is all ready here. I just gotta warm that up, so we'll put that off to the side. Now it's time to bread up our chicken. 1 egg. And I have no idea why I thought this was a good idea to do this, but here we are anyway. Although I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna eat this orange real quick. And all we're doing is cutting up the chicken into little chunks here. I'll give them a little bath here. I normally do them individually, but my hands are already frozen from touching this frozen chicken, and it being 20-some degrees out right now. Oh, there goes a piece of chicken. Now we're gonna take our chicken and put it into this bag of flour. Oh, my hands are so cold right now. In the bag of flour, we are just gonna shake this until all the little pieces of chicken are coated in some nice flour. And now we're all prepped and ready to cook this. Just have to wait for the fire to burn down a little bit. All right, time to cook up this chicken. All right, so oil in that pan. We got the sauce sitting on coals over here, nice and low heat. We just want to let that simmer. Toss our chicken in and let this cook. Now we're trying to warm up our rice here without burning it, hopefully. And the sauce is getting nice and thickened here, which is beautiful. Actually gonna toss the chicken back into the saucepan and mix it all together and heat it up. Okay, here we go. This was quite the mess to try to make, but it looks good. Hopefully it tastes as good as when I make it at home. It doesn't taste as good as home, but it still does taste good. And I will take this as a win because I'm starving and this is amazing. What a treat to have in the backcountry, right? Also, I know I said in the intro that I was gonna bake cookies, but I forgot the cookies in the car, so I will not be baking cookies, unfortunately. And I'm very upset because I wanted some cookies. Hot chocolate with this snowfall, dude. Literally doesn't get much better than this. Well, all tucked away in my tent here. Hopefully it don't get too cold tonight since this is only a 15-degree bag and it's going to get below 15 degrees, but I think I should be fine. Anyways, we're going to do a little bit of reading and then we're going to drift off to sleep. And since someone commented I can't just say I'm going to read and not share what book I'm reading, I'm going to share with you the book. This is called The Unsaved Christian. I'm currently reading through this right now. So that is the book I'm reading for anyone that cares. Anyways, the vibes are quite amazing. I'm super glad that it snowed. It just made it that much more cool of a trip, because I love the snow, and I love winter, and I love the cold, but I just can't wait till it stays cold so that I can do some ice fishing and ice camping and all that fun stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna catch you guys in the morning.
Oh boy, morning out. It's currently 10 degrees right now.
Oh, I'm definitely testing this bag to its limit. Starting to get a little chilly, but I'm not like,
Whoa, I'm not like uncomfortably cold, but definitely a little bit chilly. I'm gonna make some coffee. Honestly, that's kind of what I want to do right now.
So I had let this soak in water, forgetting to actually do the dishes last night, and now it's completely frozen. Nice. I have to let that thaw so I can cook some breakfast here. I mean, that's one way to do the dishes. It all came out nice and easy. Gonna be making some pancakes this morning. I have just a bunch of pancake mix in this bag, and we're gonna pour water in there. Or just pour it over myself. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, my syrup's nice and frozen too. Love to see it. We got my nice giant undercooked pancake, but it's fine because I'm hungry. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. My toes are actually just frozen. Pretty sure they're numb. They'll probably warm up when I start hiking, at least that's my thought. I did buy a hot tent. It's supposed to come in next week. Or I already have the tent, but I need the stove. And that's gonna come in next week. So stay tuned for the next video, which I should be using the hot tent. That'll be a lot more comfortable than this. As I'm sitting here just enjoying my coffee in the last bit of this fire, taking in the silence of the backcountry, it just reminded me of this verse right here in Psalm chapter 46, verse 10, and it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth."
And I feel like this is just a great verse and just a great reminder that in this busyness and craziness of life, when it's so easy for just things of this world just to stress you out and cause you so much anxiety and fear and always feel like you need to do something and everything's just always so hectic. And that's just a great reminder to just like take a step back and just slow down and just be still and know that God is in control and He is over all the nations, over all of the earth. We're back in business. Batteries die super quick in the winter. It's quite annoying to have to film. Anyways, we're gonna get back on track to what we were talking about. Yeah, it's just that God's over all the nations, all the earth, and He is always in control. And you can just rest in that. Just take a moment and just to rest, to be silent, to be still, and just rest in the peace of God. And it's just such a great reminder that He's in control and just allows you to reset and refocus your heart onto Him, even in the crazy busyness of this life, since I know it is a very hectic and crazy world out there, especially here in Western culture and America. It's consumerism. It's always about the next thing. So it's very important to just take a step back, and which is why I love backcountry camping as well, because it just allows me to just see God's beautiful creation and just sit in the peace in the silence that comes out here, and it really allows you just to reset and refocus onto Him. So that's my message for y'all today. Hope it spoke to some of you, and let's start tearing down camp and start hiking out of here. I would try to start fishing, but I don't even think it's worth it, honestly, so we're not gonna fish. That wasn't the reason I came out here. Like I said, I came out here just to relax, refresh myself, and just have a nice trip out in the backcountry during a nice winter season. And it was a very pleasant surprise of a snowfall because I didn't realize it was supposed to snow. It didn't say anything on the weather forecast, but that's just how it goes in the winter. You just never know what's going to happen. Well, got everything packed up here, ready to hike on out of here. I actually have no idea how many miles it is to get out of here, so I guess we're gonna find out, but let's get to hiking. And as you can tell, this little smaller lake or pond or whatever it is frozen. Because smaller bodies of water obviously freeze quicker. But I wish everything was frozen, because then I could have done some ice fishing this trip. But that certainly was not the case. Still had a good time nonetheless. But I'm really excited for ice fishing, so I hope everything starts to freeze up here shortly. But it's supposed to be 50 degrees next week again, because #Michigan, woo! Well, here ends the trip. Oh gosh, the blisters are unreal. Oh yeah. This is your lesson, guys, to break in your boots before you hike. Oh yeah. It's definitely one of the worst blisters I've ever had. And it is popped. I felt it pop when I was hiking. I was like, oh, there it goes. Oh yeah, that one's even worse. Oh goodness. Yeah, I would show you guys, but you don't get that type of content for free. Not totally joking, it's kind of gross, so I'm not going to show you it. But when I get home, I'm going to share with you guys the layering system that I have.
and all the gear that I used on this trip, just to kind of give you a gauge of what I tried out for my first ever winter backpack. So if you guys are looking to do something yourself, you can try it out, because I was actually really warm. So the first layer, I just had a little t-shirt on. Just make sure it's not cotton. Mine was like a polyester synthetic blend. Those are better. Cotton is probably the worst thing you could ever wear in the winter because it doesn't wick away moisture. It soaks up everything, and when you sweat, you're just gonna be soaking wet. So just don't ever wear cotton in the winter. And for my base layer, I have a merino wool. I think it's 250 G's, a heavyweight, just base layer, long sleeve right here that I had on. And then the mid layer, I had a Patagonia fleece right here. So that is my mid layer. In the outer layer, I have my Patagonia down jacket right here, which is 850 G's of down-filled insulation. So it is super nice and super warm. And that's kind of the layering system that I had. And I was super warm the entire time, so I think it worked out pretty well. But it was only 10 degrees. I know you guys in like Canada and other places and Alaska are definitely going to need a different system than me, because you have a lot colder temps than 10 degrees. But here in Michigan, it doesn't get below zero too much. So I think this should be a good system for me this winter, and I'm looking forward to trying it out in further months to come when it hopefully gets a little bit colder and I can try it out in some more extreme temps. And then for my legs, just had this little tight leggings here, and then a more heavyweight pair of pants. They're water resistant, water repellent, so that is very helpful as well. But legs aren't really too big of an issue, at least for me. I don't think I've got to that temperature where my legs ever got cold. So then for feet, just have these heavyweight merino wool socks, and I have these Corker boots. It says they're good for -30, which I find that hard to believe, but I don't know if I'll ever be in -30 degree temps where I can put that to the test. But they are insulated, really warm winter boots, so that's the boots that I wore. And then for my hat, I just have my lumberjack hat because I think I look cool in it, but you guys can just wear a normal beanie or whatever hat you want. And then at night, a big game changer at night is to have a balaclava, because when you're sleeping, you want your head to stay nice and warm. So I had this on all night, and it helped me stay a lot more warm during the night. So I would definitely recommend to bring one of these as well. So yeah, that's the system that I had going for me this trip that I wanted to try out, and I think it worked out pretty well. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt, and I'm looking forward to trying out my whole system and just in more extreme temperatures this winter, because I am hoping that it'll be colder than 10 degrees one night, that I can get out and do some camping. And also, I may or may not have a trip in the works to go to Canada to do a little camping trip, so I might be able to test out in more extreme temperatures there, but y'all gonna have to stay tuned for that. Hopefully I can make it happen. But if you did enjoy this one, be sure to leave a fat thumbs up, and as always folks, fish with passion.
Can somebody come and save me? I just wanna know, I wanna know.